Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we shall be studying and starting with the spectral properties of bounded self-adjoint linear operators. The first property that we are going to discuss is about eigenvalues and eigenvectors of a bounded self-adjoint linear operator. So, we have this property that a bounded self-adjoint linear operator, this may not have eigenvalues at all. In some cases, it may have eigenvalues if in certain cases we have eigenvalues associated with the given operator which is bounded and self-adjoint, then for sure we have the following properties for that particular operator T, which is say defined on some given Hilbert space to another Hilbert space. So we have this theorem here. It states that if we have T from H to H as a bounded self-adjoint linear operator defined on a complex Hilbert space H, then the first property, it states that if at all we have the eigenvalues of the given operator T, so that means if the eigenvalues of this operator T exist, then all the eigenvalues, they are real. This is first property. And the second property is that the eigenvectors corresponding to different eigenvalues, they are orthogonal to each other. So that means if we have two different eigenvalues, the eigenvectors corresponding to them, they should be orthogonal to each other. So this is the theorem, and the proof of this theorem is really simple. So let's proceed with the first part. If we assume that lambda is any eigenvalue of this operator T and x is the corresponding eigenvector, so by definition, what does it mean? It means that we have x as non-zero quantity, and by definition of eigenvalues, Tx should be equal to lambda x. Now here in this case, we wanted to prove that the corresponding eigenvalue, which we have considered to be lambda here, this eigenvalue is real, right? We wanted to show this thing. So here for that we have considered this thing, lambda multiplied with lambda is the eigenvalue, right? So this is a scalar quantity. It could be complex, it could be real, and this thing is multiplied with the inner product of x with x. So now, because this is a scalar, by the properties of inner product, if you remember, we can shift this quantity here, there is no issue, and then we can replace this lambda of x by T of x using the definition of eigenvalues here. So we have this thing over here. Then according to the definition, because T is given to be a self-adjoint bounded linear operator, right? So we have this property that T could be shifted to this side. If it is adjoint, so we could write cross here, but in this case, because it is self-adjoint, therefore T cross in this case is equal to T only. So therefore we have Tx here, right? So now again we can replace this Tx by lambda x, and according to the properties for this inner product, if we wanted to extract the constant from the second element here, second entry here, so we have a conjugate sign onto this scalar. So we have, from this we have obtained that lambda of x, lambda multiplied with the norm with the inner product of x, that is nothing but equal to lambda conjugate the inner product of x and x. And moreover, we have considered our x to be a non-zero vector. If this is a non-zero vector, in that case its inner product with itself, so that means we are talking about the norm squared according to the definitions, if you remember previously. So this thing is also non-zero. If this is non-zero, so that means if we divide both sides by this thing, so we have lambda is equal to lambda conjugate here, right? There is no issue, we can divide by the inner product of x with x. So finally we have lambda is equal to lambda conjugate. And when does this happen? Whenever we have lambda as a real quantity, as a real number. So in this case, we have proved that whatever eigenvalue of this bounded self-adjoint linear operator we consider, that has to be real if that eigenvalue exists, and it holds for every eigenvalue. Next, for the second property, we have to show that eigenvectors corresponding to different eigenvalues, they are orthogonal to each other. So for this part, we will take two different eigenvalues. So we have first considered the eigenvalue lambda here and the eigenvalue mu here as the two eigenvalues of t, and they are different from each other. And corresponding to this lambda, we are assuming x as the eigenvector, which is non-zero, and corresponding to this mu, we are considering this y as the eigenvector. So by the definition here, we should have t of x is equal to lambda x as the first expression, and t of y is equal to mu of y as the second expression, corresponding to these definitions that we have just defined. Now we wanted to prove that both x and y, they are orthogonal to each other. So this thing we wanted to prove, right? So we will take the inner product of x with y. So this inner product should be 0 in order that the two vectors x and y, they are orthogonal to each other. For that, what we are doing, we are considering again some quantity by ourselves. So it is lambda multiplied with the inner product of x with y. So again we are shifting this lambda inside, just little calculations, and then replacing this lambda x from here with t of x like this. And then because t is a self-adjoint operator, we can shift this to this second entry here. So we would have by definition ty here, otherwise it should be t cross, but in this case t cross is equal to t, as I've just told you. So we have ty here, and again using the second expression here, t of y is nothing but mu times y. So just replacing t of y by mu y, and then because mu is real, otherwise it should be mu conjugate the inner product of x with y. Because mu is real, so we have mu is equal to mu conjugate only. So therefore this thing is equal to mu the inner product of x with y, right? So from here we have obtained that lambda into the inner product of x with y, that is equal to mu into the inner product of x with y. So we could shift whole of this thing to the left hand side. So we have lambda minus mu into the inner product of x with y, that is equal to 0. But in this case, because we have considered lambda and mu as different eigenvalues corresponding to the operator t, right? So therefore the difference should not be equal to 0. So that means this thing has to be 0. If this thing is 0, that means the two vectors x and y, they are orthogonal to each other. And this is what we wanted to prove here in this case. So I hope you understood the proof of this very simple theorem, and you have also understood the spectral property, the first spectral property corresponding to bounded self-adjoint linear operator regarding eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So well, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.